Let's go to Monic Hydrophonic. How's everybody doing? So I want to start out. I had a question from a viewer asking about when I was going to complete the Vril energy, like Vril part 2. I already did the Vril part 2. I started the Vril 1, like kind of just talking about it with Paimon. And then I did the Vril, what I've learned and how to use it. So those two are basically all I'm going to do is as far as the Vril energy, what I've learned how to use it is basically what I'm going to explain about just Vril. Maybe you're talking about like the next whenever I created the thought form using the Vril, which is what I'm going to do today. So if that, hopefully that's what you're talking about. If not, maybe you could specify what it is that you wanted. But either way, so as today, when I decided I was going to make this video, I was like thinking to myself, okay, I have a lot of Book of Shadows. So anyway, because this is how it started. This is like this is like my third Book of Shadows, right? It's all really, everything is really kind of like I stay within the lines. Everything's nice and pretty and shit. I got this little thing right here so you can kind of read. It's got an elastic band to hold the page, the book closed. It's a journal. And after a while, I started getting, especially when I learned how to channel, that was not very, let me see, like, it wasn't proficient as I needed it to, because I was like doing a lot more stuff than this was allowing me to do. So I used like a certain kind of pen. I was making everything look all nice and shit. And you know, so what I started doing was using like just spiral notebooks. So that's what I use now. I still use that sometimes. Like if it's something that's like, I don't know, like something super important to me, but like all of this is really important to me. But it's like, anyway, so when I opened up this spiral, because this is the spiral I started learning to channel with Moloch. This is where when I started learning to channel, Moloch was the first entity I channeled with. And then I went in and just like it opened right to what I needed to do in order to show you the sigils that Moloch showed me in order to compress your sigils into one, or compress your chakras or energy centers, whatever, into one area, your vortices. So I have two. One is the initiator, which is this. This is the first one in game. He said to use this one first, and that's to initiate everything. That's to be able to turn everything on, and as far as being able to. And then the next sigil you use is the one just underneath it. That one you use on its own. So this one you use however you want to. I remember I just looked at it and I concentrated on it, and like I saw this is like the shock, you know, I guess the energy. This is my spine, and that was all. And then from here, this is the one I use now after that. So the way I envision this one is wherever I want to focus the energy. Let's say if I want mental clarity, or I want to try to do something with my that would incorporate my upper dantian, or your chakra that's in this area or whatever, you would focus it on this area, right? Or if you something that's like carrying, or something that would be in your middle dantian would be in this area. And then like whatever, if you want to use chakras, wherever that chakra is, whatever attribute you want to work on or you want to focus more energy on, you would use that sigil on this area. So the way I imagine the sigil is it actually spins, and so it lays flat. So the triangle is like this, right? The 2 points are like right here behind you, and then like the 1 point is in front of you, and then the moons, you know, the 1, 2, 3 moons, and then it spins like this. So it would spin the point. Let's say the point's in front of you. It would spin away and to the left, kind of like, or to the left. You know what I'm saying? So it's like boom, it spins like that. And may look to the right when I made this video. I'm not sure how all this goes, where I got it set up right now. But anyways, it's to the left. The point is here, so it would go like this. Boom. And it spins around. So you make it like almost like a crown here if you want to, and it's spinning around you. Boom, boom. And then from there, when it's spinning, you have it spinning, then you would focus all that energy to come into one spot. And I can feel it already. I just did a pretty good meditation, so like I can feel this. I got energy flowing through me right now. So you would focus it on there, and then like whatever attributes you wanted to do. So using this technique is part of what I use in order to create the thought form that I use in order to first. I've used 2 thought forms using this technique, and with the Vril energy, and with the money situation, like a financial issue, I got that come in like pretty fucking quick. And actually, I don't think I even used the Vril for the financial one. Or did I? I don't remember. Because I've been using crystals. And I don't think I have a money crystal. Anyways, but this is what I did use this to create the thought form, and then I've used it for other stuff. You know, I've used it for like as far as like relationship wise and stuff like that. So that's kind of personal, but whatever. I'm not gonna go into details of like why it's blah blah blah, but I wanted to take its time. Basically, I go into a little bit. I wanted to take its time, so this was not that huge of a rush for me as far as like relationship wise goes. However, the money one I needed it like right away, so the money one came like the next day, and then the relationship one is out there working. Like today, I did a meditation and I see it work. I could see it working, and so anyways, after you do that, you compress. What I would do, like what I've been doing, is just like turning on all your chakras first. Like what I do is I start with the black flame meditation, but I use a golden flame on my fingers, and I light this, the soul star chakra. I light the upper dantian here, and I've explained how to do that in earlier videos. Then I do the heart, the middle dantian, and then the lower dantian, and then the earth star chakra, energy center. And then from there, I'll have those go, and then I'll kind of flow the energy sometimes, depending on how I intuit the situation. Sometimes I just let the energy, whatever, depending on like my goal for the day, you know, whatever. So from there, I will then grab, let's say this stone right here. This is rose quartz. So I've been using rose quartz because there's a lot of energy attributed to this as far as like relationships. So then I'll hold this in my hand, and then I'll draw the energy from my left hand, which is my less dominant hand, which is the one that like you want to do when you're drawing in the Vril, as I explained in the earlier video. And then it always comes out as blue. And the way I envision this is like if you ever seen The Matrix where he touches the mirror, and then like the mirror like starts kind of like just like enveloping him, like just kind of like that. I kind of see it like that, but it's just blue Vril energy, and it comes from like the stone. So I'm extracting it from the stone. It's just kind of like whoa, just, you know what I'm saying? And it's continuously, and it just like covers me entirely, covers like my whole body, but as my aura covers my entire body, right? So I'm glowing with this blue energy, and then right there I'd store it in there until I'm about to use it. And so from there, I then use the sigil to wherever. So like I'm using my middle dantian for this. So I imagine the point here in front of me, and then the 2 points, like one back here, and then with the moons, and then I start spinning it here, forward and away, and to my left. And then, so it spins like that, and then I'm spinning it. And you can try spinning it different ways. Like, I would actually suggest seeing what works for you. When I first found the sigil, I was shown to do it this way. I've tried it other ways, but I like to do it this way. It's just not just because that's the way I was shown, but it seems to work the best for me. So I'll spin it, and then I'll let all the energy draw into that area to wherever I want to focus the energy. What I do is from there is I focus the energy like wherever I think I would need it the most, right? So if it's here for heart, relationship related stuff, if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. I actually made a few of these videos. I can't remember what the fuck I've said or not. So if you want to use like mental clarity or whatever, you focus it up here, or anything that has to do with the mind, anything that has to do with physical, you would do it in the lower dantian, like you want, like whatever, and then you would focus the energy there, and then use that energy, right, for whatever, however you want to do it. You can store energy there, whatever. So then I use it here, and then from there, I'll create a thought form. Well, a thought form, the way I created it, the way I've learned to create it, is just like as an energy ball in a way. So you just create like an energy ball in front of you. And if you don't know how to make an energy ball, it's really easy. I'll kind of cover it really quick. You just use your hands and imagine an energy ball in front of you. If you're doing all this other shit, you should know how to make a fucking energy ball. So you imagine the ball in front of you, and then you're pumping energy from like this middle dantian into it from your hands, and you're creating the energy ball, and you're giving it strength and power or whatever. I imagine it certain colors. That's what I've been doing. And from there, you can kind of start saying what it is you want it to do. Start giving it attributes of things that you want it to do. And then from there, you're going to, what I did is I drew in the Vril. So the Vril, I learned to draw it from your projecting hand, which is your dominant hand, and then I let the energy go into there. But since I do Reiki, I've started to kind of incorporate just letting the energy flow from both of my hands into it. So that's what I've been kind of doing, because with Reiki you use both, and you can push out energy. You can give energy from both hands. So that's what I've been doing. So I push in the energy into the ball, and I'm creating the ball, and you just kind of move it around, and if you press, you should be able to feel the pressure, and then you just create the ball, and then from there, I give it like a center sometimes. You don't have to. I give it like a little, almost like an atom looking kind of thing. There's like a little thing in the middle, like a center, like a power center almost. And then from there, I inject the Vril. I use that energy, and then I channel the energy into my crown from the universal energy into the ball as like a cover to it. You know what I'm saying? Like almost like as a protective, like a force field. And then I start, as I'm giving it attributes, and then when I'm finishing it up, like what I want, want in something. Like if I need $60, like fucking right away, I'll do that as far as like $60. And for the financial, it worked really, really quick. I actually had, I did the financial thought form, and I got money the next day. So that worked really quick. With the relationship one, I don't mind it taking its time, so I'm not really giving it a time limit. There's no rush. So it's taking a little bit longer, which I'm totally cool with, because I want something, I've had some things come up when I initially made the thought form. I had a couple of instances come up where like I had opportunities as far as like with females, and it wasn't really what I was looking for. So I have gone back in and kind of like reprogrammed like what it is actually that I do want. And so that's basically what's going on. Like I want somebody who whatever, I'm not gonna go into the detail. Anyway, so I reprogrammed it okay, well actually that was cool, thank you. I talk to it like it's a person. I say thank you, and then this is what I actually want, this and that. And so anyways, so then from there, as I create that thought form, and then I'm telling it like the attributes of what I want and whatever it is I want. Like I said, if I want money, hey man, I really need the $60, blah blah blah. This and that, and then you just want to use basic like magical structure, like you imagine yourself having it already, kind of a thing, and you put it into the thought form. And so you just give it energy, just keep on giving it energy as long as you want to, and then from there, after you draw in the energy from your crown, and then inject it into the ball as a protection. Then you give it life. You breathe life into it like 3 times. So you go like, you breathe into it 3 times, and then you imagine it. That's what's giving it life. So then now you envision it breathing itself. So the thought form is actually breathing now. You've just given it life, and then you from there you can if you got any other instructions you want to give it or anything like that. And then from there, man, you can just kind of say, okay, well, I let you do your thing, and you encourage it. Say, okay, you're awesome, kind of shit like that, or whatever you want to say. But you give it like a personality, not a personality. I'm sorry. Like you talk to it like it's doing something for you, and you're appreciative of what it's going to do for you, and you know that it's going to do this thing for you. You just created this energy, this thought form that's going to do this thing for you. So that's how you talk to it. You say, hey, man, thank you. I really appreciate this kind of, and just talk to it like it's like a homeboy or a homegirl, whatever, and that's what you do. Then you just kind of let it go off into the universe, and then let it go where it goes. That's what I've been doing. At first, I tried to push it a certain way, but I've noticed if I just kind of let it go, it just does whatever, and letting it do whatever is the best that I've seen. And so yeah, from there, that's creating the thought form and putting it out there. Now, every day you want to charge it up. So every day when you sit in meditation, you should be doing meditations every day. You can add this to your meditation after you created the thought form and it has not completed its task yet. After it's completed its task, you can do whatever you want. Just let it go, the energy go back into the universe. Whatever you want to do. You can even program it to, as soon as you're done with your mission, you can let the energy can go back into the universe, or whatever. So then from there, you draw back every day. So the money one I didn't have to do but once, right? So that one is done. So whenever I draw the one for the relationship, I draw that in every day, and I just call it, just like in my mind, okay, and I just call it, and then I see it coming from whatever direction, and then it just comes, and then I put it in my hands, and then I draw up the Vril first, and I just give it energy again to do what it's doing for me. And then you don't have to breathe life into it this time or whatever, but you see it as in it's a living thing, and you're thanking it. You're saying thank you, I appreciate it. You know, you're giving it gratitude and for what it's doing for you. You know, you just created this thing and it's doing this thing for you. And so, and then from there, after you give it enough energy that you feel is enough, and like the more you put into it, the more you're going to get. So if you put a lot of energy into it, you're going to get a lot of, the more you're going to get back. Obviously, that's the base. That's a basic thing, but yeah. And then you just kind of let it go. You let it go, and then today mine rose up and just went in all directions. It actually split and went in a bunch of different directions. So I thought that was pretty cool. Almost like Dragon Ball Z. You see the Dragon Ball Z where the Dragon Balls go up and they shoot off? It was like that. And so it was pretty cool. So yeah, that's how you create a thought form using Vril. The compression of chakras or energy centers or into one area that I was taught by Moloch, and just your energy and blah blah blah. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, share it with your friends. If you don't like this video, share it with your enemies. Take it easy.